Mic check 1 2. Good evening, my brothers and sisters, locally in the beloved motherland of Kenya, across the East African divide, to the ends of the continent of the beautiful land of Africa, not forgetting all the continents of the world. Thank you very much for being part of this live broadcast. My name is C.W. John, lead minister here at Share the Love Center, an ambassador of peace to the glory of God. We thank you for this opportunity that you, by the help of the Holy Spirit, have allowed us to come to your space in view of sharing quite necessary information that will lead to the betterment of our nation, East Africa, and Africa at large. Thank you very much. In the recent times, we have seen, not only locally but also abroad, of the events that are proving that the world is taking a different shift. Speaking about the issue of Madagascar, boiling down to the soils of Nepal. It seems like Kenya began something that echoed to the heartbeats of many, and more is yet to be seen. And due to that, we cannot neglect the fact that it is a cry for change. It is a cry for no space for neglect anymore, politically, spiritually, across the divide of many lands. And therefore, because of that, this program, as usual, seeks to bring and cut across cutting-edge information that will be able to help our generation to move and spearhead towards light. Once again, we thank God and we thank you for always tuning in and listening. Thank you for all those that send in your comments, positive or negative. We want you to know that your comments are reached, or rather they are received with a lot of humility to the glory of God. Thank you very much. We want to begin our live broadcast today by pointing out, as usual, on the Constitution, which is the law and that which divides light from darkness, which is the Holy Scriptures, and from that we shall be reading. Thank you very much. Isaiah 43 from verse 18. Isaiah 43. Let us begin from verse 16 so that we can have a solid perspective. Isaiah 43 from verse 16. This is what the Bible says. Thus saith the Lord, who makes a way in the sea and a path through the mighty waters. You need to understand that when the Lord boasts about his nature, his qualities, his personality, if I would use that word for lack of a better word, or rather his being, the capacities that are introduced about God is that he makes a way in the sea. You need to understand the motive, or rather the metaphor for that word, makes a way in the sea. If you remember the days of the children of God leaving Egypt, you can understand that part of the things that God did, he takes a lot of, for lack of a better word, a lot of pride in that fact that only he can make a way in the desert. I keep saying that in as much as we have sorcerers, we have witches, we have wizards, we have demonic people, or rather demonic beings, there is a layer of results you cannot bring unless you yourself, you are God. And because of that, these particular abilities that you see here, God knows that there is no other spirit that has that kind of power to make a way in the sea. So he begins by saying, thus saith the Lord. So he refers us backwards to how he did it in the past. He makes a way in the sea and a path through the mighty waters. That is the God that is going to say what we are about to say. So he refers to the past. The same God that did this, he's showing you that he's a God of power. And when he says something, you can literally refer to the past to be able to analyze the future that God is talking about. And because of that, we push through verse 17. This is what he says. Who brings forth the chariot and horse, the army and the power? They shall lie down together, they shall not rise. You remember when the children of Israel had come to the waters, and unfortunately, or thank God, the military of Egypt, when Pharaoh came to himself, he sent his military and he came himself after them. If you remember the chariots and the horses according to scripture, this is what the Bible he says. They shall lie down together, they shall not rise. Actually, I read a documentary that they found nuggets on the water, on the bed of the water of these chariots, these armies. They are found inside the sea to prove that this thing happened and it was true. So this God says they are extinguished, they are quenched like a wick. He says that even though that army came with all the chariots and all the power, I made these chariots to go under the water, and that is where they belong. This is the God that's about to speak. He refers to his past as a proof of authority. Verse 18. He says, that God, this is what he's about to say. He says, do not remember the former things. Do not remember, even though that was the reality. Do not remember the former things. He says, nor consider the things of old, even though these things are powerful. He says, there is something I'm going to do, and you no longer need to reach to your past to talk about the God of tomorrow. God will be a now God. This is what the Bible says. Do not remember the former things, nor consider the things of old. This is the reason why. Verse 19. He says, because, behold, I will do a new thing. I will do a new thing. Brothers and sisters, I need to bring it up to speed to you that God does not change. But what God does change. It means he can do something yesterday. He will do something else tomorrow. He will do something else next time. He does not change, but his ways keep on becoming. So this is what the Bible says, behold, I will do a new thing. It says, now it shall spring forth. Now, I happen to have a construction company, and part of the things within my possession is the ability to do borehole drilling. I've done several boreholes in my lifetime, different parts of the country. And so I have a little knowledge concerning how the system works. When you begin to drill a borehole, or rather to desire to drill a borehole, the first thing you do is that you bring several people that have the ability to identify exactly the location where you are going to drill. Once they do that, the machine comes. And when the machine begins to drill, the machine will drill probably a few feet, a few meters. There is nothing much apart from sand. You keep drilling, you keep drilling, you keep drilling. A point will come, you get to some water. It might not be enough. You keep on digging. Now, there is a point that will come, the machine that is digging will not be able to dig any longer because of the amount of pressure downwards that seek to come upwards. Here in our church, just behind the walls, I happen to have done that also. And a time comes whereby all you have been waiting for, that waited time that you have been waiting for, sometimes it goes for 1 day, sometimes it goes for 2 days, depending on where you are. At some point, it will drill and break through and get to the water underneath that you have been waiting for. Now, the way that machine functions, that it throws the water so high. I don't know if anyone has had the opportunity to see that drilling machine. it throws the water so high as a proof that you have touched something down there. This is what the Bible is saying. Media team, if you can put the scripture. The Bible is saying that now it shall spring forth. That's what it's saying. It's not like tap water, the way you open tap water and it just comes out little by little. We are talking about a springing forth. It means it's a burst. It will burst forth. It says, shall you not know it? When a borehole is dug somewhere, do you need to be told, or you just wait to see? Does that spring forth? Is it hidden or is it public? Brothers and sisters, I'm here to let you know that it is public. Very, very public. What God is about to do will be very public. You will not need to tell anyone this is the doing of the Lord. You will not need to go and tell someone. It will be from wherever people are. It will be public that God is the one doing what God has called us to do. And so when you look at it from that perspective, it says, I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. This is to explain to you, when it comes to Jesus, there is no limitation. God does not look at a river, at the wilderness and wish there was a river. If God wants to bring forth a river, even from the hardest terrain, talk about even Jupiter, God can bring forth water from the river. This is one of his capacities. Now, for what is about to happen in Kenya, in Africa, Uganda, our brothers in Uganda, Tanzania, locally and abroad, there will be a kind of doing from God. And I want you to mark my words, that will spring forth. It simply means it will not run like tap water. It will be like when you finally dig a borehole and you finally break through to the water. That spring forth is what will happen. That machine throws the water very high that all the people in that surrounding are going to see. So the height of what God is going to do will be visible. Brothers and sisters, this is one of the capacities of God himself. And because of that, I will need to start explaining the reason why we are here today with view of a spring forth. Religion tells you that this is the only way to do things. But when you begin to read the Bible, you hear the words that my ways are not your ways. The word ways has an S. Same Bible says that God is the way, the truth, and the life. You need to understand when God is talking about a being himself and when he's talking about what he can do. What he can do are his ways. Who he is the way that gives birth to the ways. Now, because I happen to have an understanding that God is unlimited, I dare to dream. And let me pause here and make a statement because, we live in a generation of opinions. We need to learn to draw the line between opinion and God's will. I have met a lot of people that have opinions. The gospel today was so much reduced that it's an opinion. I don't like what John C.W. is saying. I don't like what... It doesn't matter what you like. We are not interested with what you like. That is your opinion. When we read the Bible, we give God's standpoint. You don't need to like it. You don't need to love it. That is your business. We would prefer that you hearken to the truth, but we are equally not ignorant to know that not everyone here seated, or rather listening to me through this broadcast, desires to know the truth. And because of that, we are not here to give an opinion. Young people, don't allow the social media reality to fool you into thinking that your opinions count. Your opinions don't count when it comes to the kingdom. In every kingdom, there is the rule of law. Only God's opinion counts. At the end of everything, it is Jesus. Because of that particular demonstration of the Word of God, I'll be seeking to go deeper to illustrate and demonstrate some of the things that we are looking at in view of seeing how we can restructure what God has in store for us. If Pastor Godfrey can care to put the pictures on the slide, to show you that the week we had an opportunity to meet the chairman of the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, which stands for IEBC. From this little room here in the village, when I started, a lot of people had things to say. A lot of people, others thought that, we are just guessing. Others thought that we are wasting time. Everyone had everything to say. But I came to realize when God calls you, God provides for you. And therefore, God provided a voice for us to be able to speak on matters governance in this nation, locally and abroad, to the point through which we have voices in Uganda that are echoing the same sentiments, voices in Tanzania, voices in Nigeria. You can imagine UK, US, and I speak this literally as a point of view because we have feedback. In view of that fact, we happen to have attended, or rather called upon, by the Electoral and Boundaries Commission. As you can see, I think the pictures will be flowing so that you can be able to see from a picture point of view before we start that we truly were there. And I like the fact that from this little village, the impact is visible. We went there. We had a cutting-edge meeting whereby we were given an opportunity to present what we had. If you remember previously before, we came here with the perspective of desiring to see a system through which Kenya can come into the space of election by a much more solidified and a superior means that can be able to secure our votes in a much, much simplified, better, faster, quick, and transparent way. So we went to work and we labored. We labored and we labored with the team that God gave us to provide an opportunity to see to it that there will not only be bloodshed. It's not only about protecting the vote. It is about protecting life. Because we know that in every election, someone must die. In every election, there will be hate. In every election, there will be tribalism. So because of that, we came up with a system that can be able to carve all these realities and try to minimize them to the least of our ability. And we came and we presented it to you, of course, through that platform. Many social media platforms saw us. Mainstream medias, you saw that we went to different medias advocating for this particular thing. And that's what we'll be presenting to you. Now, today we will not be doing talk. Today we'll be doing the walk. Last time we did the talk. Today we'll be doing the walk. We'll be presenting to you what this particular thing really is, just as we presented it to the IEBC. It is public information. Some of the stakeholders that were there was UNDP, Canadian High Commission representatives, several people, the commissioners of the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, led by the chairman himself, Mr. Erastus. He was there. You can see the pictures are there. I think they are showing on your screen. And so we felt it was very important for us to come to you and, give you a snippet of what actually transpired there. There you can see, that's my face. That is me again. That is, I hope that's the way they are rolling out so that I'm not, okay, so let me use the screen here. These are the pictures, yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, media. These are the pictures of part of what transpired. And we felt it was very needful for us to come to you. Those are the commissioners, the deputy chair, amazing people, Canadian High Commission represent. Let me show them by word. That's myself, John C.W. That is the chairman of the IEBC. That is Peter Kibaki, one of our team agents, amazing man. That's Jesse, one of our amazing team agents, part of the people that are building these systems and will be presenting today. That is the whole team, all the way from myself to the chair of the IEBC, deputy, Canadian High Commission, our team. They had brought in the IT experts, the law experts. I mean, we were all of us here, the commissioners, all of them were here. That's Almarat, one of our team members too. You can see now this, apart from this now, all this that you're about to see here are now the team that is led by the director, or rather the chairman of the Iebc. So we had a very constructive meeting. We shared with them. We brought in our perspective. We showed and we desired that there be room for change, that they will be giving us an opportunity to bring to the surface what we had built. And so we felt it was very important because we had a very productive meeting with them, of course led by the chair. And that's when we knew that people are willing. You know that this particular team is a very new team, that it was appointed not long ago. They have not been in office for long. And therefore I came on board and I told them that it's an opportunity for you to make peace, the keys of life and death, literally. If I speak about it from that point of view, they are in the hands of the Electoral and Boundaries Commission. We can stop the deaths that are happening. We can stop the theft that is happening. It is possible for there to be free and fair election. It is possible. And therefore today, we'll be presenting this particular platform in order for you to see what is happening. Now, before I call in my team, I wanted to bring this slide your way, and I want to explain to you, because some of you, it's like many of us, we still don't understand what we are doing. Now, I need to make this statement. Whoever you support, it doesn't matter. Whatever your political party, it doesn't matter. This has nothing to do with who you are supporting or political party. This is a very centralized reality. I mean, it's going to cut across the parties, despite the parties you are serving. It's going to cut across despite the different candidates that you are trying to embrace coming to the future election. So this one is a very neutral ground. And it's my prayer that many of you come to understanding. I want to request my generation, before you open your mouth and just talk, let us do what the Bible says. Come, let us reason. Reasoning is a very vital organ of change. Anywhere reasoning is not appreciated, change will never be part of the reality. So it is very important. Coming with a perspective of defense, you will never really see truth, even if truth has been presented to you. So because of that, I wanted to bring to your attention these particular realities. Of course, these are very verified information. According to Kenya's electoral baseline, the current landscape. Now, I want you to listen to this. Understanding the current state of Kenya's electoral system provides a critical baseline against which to measure the impact of the vote EMS. Now listen to this. According to 2022, registered voters were 22.1 million. According to 2022. Voter turnout, in as much as 22.1 million registered, I want you to see the voter turnout was 65.4%, which is approximately 14.3 million. The question I want to ask, why would 22.1 million people register, and then the people that actually turn out on that day of election are 65%, which is approximately 14? Now, you look at it from that point of view, you realize that you are losing over 7 million people that did not turn out. We need to ask ourselves a question. What made 7 million plus people that registered not to turn out? Very important, and remember that question. Let's keep going. Total election cost for 2022 was 44.24 billion. Total. Now, all this information is online. You can verify it for yourself. All you need to do is to Google. So total election cost, the cost to run the elections of 2022 in Kenya was 44.24 billion. Maybe someone can change that, I think, divide by 130. Can you tell me what that is in dollars? Because I know we are speaking to international. So what is 44 point, is it 24? What is 44.24 in dollars? So we want to give you that figure in dollars so that those of you that are abroad can, try and measure up with different nations. Probably your nation uses more or less. It will be better to use dollar rates. So what would it be? So it's around 342 million, almost 343 million US dollars to run an election. 343 million US dollars. Africa, what a continent. Okay, so it took approximately 43 million US dollars to run the election, which is approximately 44.24 billion Kenya shillings. Cost per voter, I want you to listen to that, because later on as we are doing our presentation, those of you that care to really know what is happening and those of you that care for the nation of Kenya, this information will be important. So cost per voter, in order for you to vote, it costed a voter 2,000, which of course the government, or rather the Iebc, provides for. 2,000 for you to vote. Of course, you're thinking about ballot papers, you're thinking about the pens that, you know, when you have already voted, the identification on the nail pens. A lot of things are happening, you know, different machines, tallying stations, so much is happening. So according to 2022, the cost per voter was about 2,000 shillings. Now, this is a projected view. Remember, in 2022, it was 44.24 billion. In 2027, it's amazing that we still have the same Kenyans. I don't think we have grown with that big number, and even though we have grown from 2022 to 2027, the children that were born between 2022 and 2027, they are still 5 years of age. Of course, I know there are 15-year-olds that will become able to vote and all those kind of things. But putting that aside, the projected budget for, actually, the Minister of Finance spoke about this. His name is John Badi. He says that it will require approximately 61.7 billion. Remember, 5 years before, we did 340 million, approximately $43 million, which is approximately 44.24 billion. 5 years later, we are dealing with 61.7 billion. What kind of increment is that? From 61 to 44? You are looking at around over 17 billion, if I'm not wrong. You know, 44, 54, 64, yeah, approximately 16 billion hike just to put people in office. You know, one of the things that shocks me is that the other day I was talking to someone that, is vying for a political seat. And I've been speaking with different people, others that are vying for Member of Parliament, others that are vying for MCA, women rep, and all those kind of things in the future. And this particular person shocked me because he told me that, again, we're going to speak about the party politics, because some of these parties, I mean, nowadays, people just start parties for business. In order for you to get a nomination by a specific party, we know the corruption that goes there. People pay money, millions, in order for you to be adopted by a particular party. Let's say, for example, this party, that party, that party. Before you know, you have to pay money. It's bribe. Brothers and sisters, this thing is hectic. Believe me, I've studied this thing, and I can tell you there is darkness that needs to be brought to light. Now, this particular gentleman told me that people are going to a point whereby they are being sold party certificates in order for you to be now allowed to run on a specific party. You can imagine someone paying 30 million to be given a certificate to run for an MCA. Now, brother, I don't know if maybe I'm the one that normally has a problem, or I don't understand. Well, 30 million for you to run for MCA. It's not me belittling the seat, but I'm trying to imagine how much money is an MCA paid? Where are you getting 30 million to get a party nomination, a party certificate? You have not even been given the opportunity to run for office. I mean, rather, to become the MCA. The kind of investments that we do in our nation to become members of parliament, to become... Why? I know a person that came and told me that they became members of parliament. They had a budget of 100 million, and they still never became members of parliament. They are not far. Then I'm thinking to myself, an MCA is paid approximately what? Is it 300,000? So in order for you to arrive to 30 million, can you do me the math? 300,000 times 10, that's 3 million, right? Right? Times 12, that's 3.6 million. So 3.6 million times 5 is how much? 3.6 million times 5. Calculate that for me. Because sometimes we need to really get these things well. Because even the corruption in the parties, the kind of corruption. Now, if you are going to take the amount of money you would have received legally by your payslip as a member, as an MC, I hope they are actually paid approximately 300,000. If not, please pardon me in that view. If they take 300,000 approximately for 5 years, how much is it coming to? 18 million, approximately. Now, in the whole 5 years, legally speaking, if you are genuine, your salary would have been 18 million in 5 years, right? I hope you are giving me the right figures. 3.6 times 5, it's 18 million. Now, think about it, brothers and sisters. Why would you take 30 million to get a party nomination? You are not even sure you become a leader, or you'll be. We are not even talking about you have become the MCA. You have just received a party ticket. Why would you invest 30 million knowing very well your salary is 18 million in 5 years? They know why they are going to office. You know, I keep saying these things and many of you still do not understand. It doesn't make sense mathematically speaking. As a businessman, why invest 30 million to get 18 million, which you are not even sure you will get it because it's just a party nomination in order for you to be part of these huge parties? And I listened to that person speaking and I was like, the most expensive, Kenya is one of the most expensive places for you to be a leader. For you to be a leader in Kenya, you need to be already rich. There is no space. Of course, you have few here and there, but you can imagine the kind of corruption. So people start parties because of that corruption. Others because they know there is a portion of the government money that goes to the parties. So this thing is just a cartel. Others are selling party tickets. Others are saying, if you are genuine, why sell your party ticket? And I want to challenge most of the people that are doing that. If you received your ticket without paying any single shilling, I dare you to stand up and talk. Because this thing has become a cartel. When will you ever work for the people? Your first job will be, first of all, to return the 30 million. Maybe someone gave you the money. Why are you going to become an MCA? Why are you spending 30 million? Okay, let's even assume you have become an MCA. Where are you getting 30 million apart from your salary? Because you people know you have shady deals. Some of you are paid to impeach people. Some of you are paid to do wicked things. There are just wicked things happening in this nation. May the Lord help us. It would have been my desire for the parties, all parties that are coming into place, there should be a law that if any corruption is found, if any party is found selling any certification to any person to run through that party, that particular party should be cancelled. Because you are promoting corruption. It means the person, even though there is a good leader that doesn't have the money, the bad leader that has money, what will stop us from being drug cartels? Because I hope you know people come to office to protect their own desires. And I can tell you for a fact, most of these people running for office, the reason why you have the same old people is so that they can protect the interests that their friends had. Most of these people are positioning their friends. Why? Because they know they have looted the nation. I mean, the other day I went around and I had the amount of money the SGRs took. Why won't people that are part of that reality not nominate a specific person for a candidate for president so that they can protect their own interest? Why won't this one protect this one protect that one? It's because this thing is a cartel. Cartels are about to go down in Kenya. It is very sad. Now, becoming a member of parliament, I know a person that used almost 100 million on campaign. It is the most, in Kenya to become a leader is very expensive. And this is why I would request my brothers and sisters in Kenya, make it cheap to become a leader. Let the quality not be what they can give you, but what they can do for you. If we go back to that trajectory, we'll be able to siphon and have the right leaders serving in the right offices. May the Lord help us. Now, let's go deeper as I call my people. Now, listen to this. So we saw that it went with 61 billion. Now, listen to this. 2022, we used 44.24 billion. Per voter was 2,000 Kenya shillings. Keep that in mind because we'll be looking at it from our point of view, what it will cost a voter. Potential saving, 17.7 billion. New cost, reduced, 1,200 per voter. Now, I want you to look at it. This is why change is critical. In 2022, registered voters was 22.1. Iebc, 2027, the amount of money needed is 61.7 billion. Cost increase of 39%. Even if you say that there are new voters coming in, no, it can't be 39%. Let's just be genuine with people. But anyway, we'll be looking at these particular details in point form so that we can be able to see. But I would like to call upon, my brothers to come on board, at least to be able to elaborate to you people what we did. You're going to see, first of all, from Peter and then Jesse. Both of them will come at the same time. I'll be introducing them. We want to show you what we presented to the Iebc. The Iebc loved the idea. And I can tell you because the next thing that they told us was, the next thing that this is going to do, of course, nothing operates in a vacuum. It needs to be taken to the parliament floor, where the member of parliament would need to vote yes or no. We are going to create a list of shame. Now that we know that it is possible, because there are only three ways to look at it. Is it a good idea? Yes. What are the opposition? Number one will be the members of parliament. Now, if you're a member of parliament and you oppose such a thing, there should only be one ground. One ground. What does the Constitution say about it? What does I want to repeat it again, members of parliament. What does the Constitution say about it? Article 81 of the Constitution speaks concerning, this kind of realities, embracing new technologies for voting. Article 83 of the Constitution speaks about the same thing, embracing those realities. As long as it is found within our Constitution, there is no reason for the members of parliament to reject this particular thing that probably will be coming to your floor shortly. There is no reason. We had a sit down with the commissioners. They loved the idea. We had a sit down with Mr. Erastus, the Iebc chair. We had a sit down with Canadian High Commission delegates. Of course, you all know that they help a lot during elections. We had a sit down with the UNDP, several stakeholders. And all the stakeholders, we agreed that this particular reality, this thing is the way to go. But they told us the hurdle, number one, would be, what does the law say about it? So remember, we had lawyers there. We had IT departments there. We had all forms of people that we needed in order for us to drive this agenda were seated on that table. And so the only thing we concluded was that this matter will need to be brought to the floor of the House. How it comes there, God will help us. But this is what we decided to do. We are going to create a list of shame. And any member of parliament that will fight this reality without a constitutional approach, and I want to repeat it again, without a constitutional approach, we will mention your name, we will mention where you live, we will mention what you do, so that you enter into the list of shame as the people. Kenyans must know the people that are rejecting progress. We will tutakuchambua. And then, as usual, we will tell Kenyans to, there's a way we shake people's hands in our nation of Kenya. Let us leave that as a metaphor. And therefore, this is my appeal to the members of parliament. Do not reject something because of a cartel. In order for you to achieve this particular reality, we know that you have to ship in things. We know you have to send in papers and all those things in order for you to have a manual way of transmitting votes. I want to appeal to you. Secondly, we know that there are people that always have a negative mind. Always have a negative mind. Which other nation has done it? Who had done M-Pesa before us? Stop that nonsense. Why is it that Africa needs to always wait for someone? Why can't people see us? Okay, that person you are saying, why is it that no one had done? Who told you we need to wait for the US? M-Pesa is the biggest mobile money transfer globally. Who did we wait for? Africa is not here to wait for anyone. And we repeat it again. Africa is not here to wait for anyone. We have competitive minds. We have competitive ideas. We understand the systems. We are not ignorant people. For example, the systems we are about to show you today, they have been built by our own people. This mentality of trying to, who has done? Who has done? Who told you that they need to do for us to do anything? Kenya runs by itself. And we have brains, and we will expose those brains. So any member of parliament that once this is brought to the floor of the house, and you reject it, will create a list of shame. We will tell the Kenyans that this is the person that is rejecting, and you need to give us substantial, and I want to repeat it again, substantial constitutional grounds for you to say no. Constitutional grounds, not political grounds. Because politically speaking, we all know that when you strike where people make money from, they come out guns blazing. Well, this is an opportunity. So all members of parliament be warned. Be very much warned. You thought that when we started this, it was just a village thing in Kenol. Where are we today? Be very warned. We are not playing games anymore. We are trying to avoid people dying. Forget about even who's coming into power. We are trying to avoid people dying because of people saying that they have been stolen for their votes. We are trying to avoid re-elections because it costs a lot of money. Those are the things we are trying to avoid. There will be free and fair elections in our nation of Kenya. Uganda can take the same suit. I mean, we have people like Bobby Wine and, always, saying that, oh, your vote has been stolen. If Kenya can do it, Kenya is leading the East African side. If at all, Kenya is becoming a global sensation, or rather on the continent of Africa. So if we do the right thing here, other nations will copy-paste. Uganda is about to go to elections. Tanzania is about to go to elections. I would appeal to the nations of Tanzania and Uganda. Embrace these new ways. You will reduce death, bloodshed, tribalism. All those things will die. And therefore, because of that, we want to present to you a very important, very, very, very important system. The other time we spoke about it, today we are going to show you. I want you to welcome with me Peter Kibaki. Peter Kibaki is here. He'll be standing on, he'll be presenting a very important part of what we presented to the Iebc. We're going to show you how the system works. We'll no longer be speaking. We'll be showing the system and how the system works. Kibaki will be looking at that. Secondly, I'll be presenting Jesse. Jesse, come on board. Those of you that remember last time, we had these two great men. One of them is not here, but these two people are able to stand on board and, reflect the realities of what we want to speak about. So I'll give it first to Peter to take us through these realities so that to you, dear Kenyans, you can see that it is possible. What we are speaking, we are doing. Thank you very much. Welcome, Kibaki.
Thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity. As my name has been echoed, my name is Kibaki Peter. And I won't take much of your time. I'll be here to, my senior teacher has been able to show us, or has shown you, what we were able to achieve for the past few days. And before I take on that slide, I would want for you aspiring politicians or aspiring leader who is vying. I want you to imagine this. In 2022, we had 46,232 polling stations. So if you were to place an observer on each and every polling station, pay the observer probably 2,000 shillings, just for a guess. Or pay the observer, I don't know the rate, but let's just say 2,000 shillings as the lowest rate that you can ever do. It means you will have to spend 92,464,000. That's money that you will need to spend for you to be able to place an observer in each and every polling station. Think of this. What if you rub all that by introducing the blockchain technology, whereby We are talking of our solution, which is the decentralized voting electoral management system. And just to give you a recap, this system is trustless. It means the system works on the basis of smart contracts. The system has no any centralized server. The system is decentralized. Every vote that is patched into the system is secured by thousands, by millions of computers worldwide. I won't go into the explanations of what's a blockchain. It was already explained in our previous presentations. But now I want to go into how does it work, into the logic of how it works. We are talking of having immutable records. We are talking of a vote, immediately you cast it, is patched into the blockchain system in a way that it's immutable, in a way that it cannot be changed, in a way that it is recorded on-chain, and it can be verified by the public as a record that you voted and that you voted for this particular person. The public will be able to see your vote and the one you voted for, but they will not be able to see your name. Only you can be able to see your name, because only you possesses the private key that can access that particular record on-chain. I'll just go directly to how it works on the voter registration process, and then we'll have a time to see the demo. On the voter registration, when we are doing voter registration, the system will pick automatically your biometrics. It will be able to identify your verification. Then your identity will be patched into the blockchain system by blockchain anchoring, whereby your KYC or your biometrics are converted into cryptographic records, which are now patched into the blockchain, and a private key is issued to only you by the system. So you are meaning that you are the only person that bears that particular identity. Then the second level is now the voting process, whereby we have biometric voter check-ins, whereby you are able to lay your fingers on probably whether, at the comfort of your home, you can use your phone, or for the marginalized, those people who don't have any devices, they can be able to use simple devices like these ones, which probably will be found on several polling stations for accessibility for those that totally don't have a smartphone. For those that have a smartphone, even if you're abroad in diaspora, you can be able to access your smartphone, access the Iebc app, and you'll be able to cast your vote from there, which you will be sure that your vote will be recorded. Secure ballot casting is done. We'll see the hybrid, the mode here. The encrypted record is created and is patched on-chain. And then a voter receipt is generated as a sign that you've been able to vote. Candidates also can be onboarded on this system, whereby the IEBC will do thorough candidate auditing. They will be able to pick their documents which have been submitted to them. We are talking of multi-level validation, whereby those documents will be validated by the IEBC. We are talking of those documents being transformed into digital records, and then they are cryptographically time-stamped. And then they are patched on-chain, so that if a vote is casted, it is mapped into that patched cryptographic time-stamped identity. And we will have a secure ballot inclusion. So there is also another area of results and auditing, and that's where I'm appealing to all politicians. You will only need probably one tech person, or even yourself, to be able to verify all the votes that are coming in real time. It's actually very easy. If you've ever done a crypto transaction, you know what I mean by a transaction validation. You just need the hash. Once you have the hash, you're able to validate that transaction. Simple as that. Now, let's delve into the voting process. I'm sure the media team will be able to give us that video for the voting process.
So now this is the first voter, and yeah, we want to voting has not started actually. And if you view their votes, okay, we have not voted. Election has not started. So now all votes are empty for the person. If I try to vote, okay, this is the candidates. This person is registered, and let me see, we check their status. Yeah, in Mombasa for trace. So as I said, they are going to see as president, uh, senator. This is senator. This is a women rep is here, and then it's CMP. So now this person, their MP is Omar Mwinyi. But everything is the same because they come from, he comes from, uh, I mean, same word with the second voter. No, same constituency. Let's switch to the second voter and see the option for actually an MCA. You'll see they are not going to see Omar Mwinyi. They're going to see someone else. So you connect, and then let me load again. So you see, everything is the same because they're coming from Mombasa, from the same constituency, but different ones. Okay? So they have the same MP, but now when it comes to an MCA, this second voter MCA is different. This is because the system filters, knows where you're coming from, and only shows you candidates you are eligible to vote. It doesn't show you all candidates from Kenya, because why will you see them and you can't vote? You're not voting for them. Now let's switch to the last voter, who is from Nairobi. You see the people they are seeing. If you go back here, then we connect again. Check the status. You're coming from Nairobi. Again, we load the candidates. Yeah, you see, we had really president is global. Everyone is going to see president. And then senator. Yeah, we get two senator. We never register all positions. Again, if you see their vote, they are not voted. So election is not started. The button has not changed. There's one thing I want to demonstrate. Voting before election starts. The system restricts election. Now election has not started. If you try to vote, it's not going to allow you. So let's try to demonstrate that. So first of all, when you press, going to ask you, are you sure you're going to vote for this person? If you think it's a mistake, you cancel. If you're sure, you go on and vote. Voting is closed. Okay. It's mean election. This is just it's supposed to say voting is not yet open. That is it. We cannot vote because the voting is not yet open. So yeah, we wait for it to be open. Okay. Yeah. So even voters, for example, if a voter has not registered before election starts, during election, the system will not allow them to register because voting is only allowed before election starts. So those restrictions there. But even after election is over, if they cannot register, this is because they will add to the number of voters and then they did not vote. So yeah, we're waiting for a few minutes for the election to start, and then we can actually demonstrate voting when it's ongoing. President and governor. These are the positions one are there. Let me shift to the other second voter. Yes. So I go back here, I connect again. So this voter has a lot of positions. So it's I mean, yeah, okay, I need to lower there. But there are very many. Yeah, but we need to filter by position. Let me just filter president. So yeah, so there are very many. This person, this is the second voter. So just to show that you can vote for another person. This person is voting for a different president. So vote is submitted for a presidency. The second voter. We go now to governor for Mombasa. We're going to. So now this is the
vote
first
again.
voter, and yeah, we want to. Voting has not started actually, and if you view their votes, okay, we have not voted. Election has not started. So now all votes are empty for this person. If I try to vote, okay, this is the candidates. This person is registered and let me see, we check their status. Yeah, in Mombasa for trace. So as I said, they're going to see as president, uh, senator. This is senator. This is a women rep is here, and then it's CMP. So now this person, their MP is Omar Mwinyi. But everything is the same because they come from. He comes from. Uh, I mean, same word with the second voter. No, same constituency. Let's switch to the second voter and see the option for actually an MCA. You'll see they are not going to see Omar Mwinyi. They're going to see someone else. So you connect, and then let me load again. So you see, everything is the same because they're coming from Mombasa, from the same constituency, but different ones. Okay? So they have the same MP, but now when it comes to an MCA, this second voter MCA is different. This is because the system filters, knows where you're coming from, and only shows you candidates you are eligible to vote. It doesn't show you all candidates from Kenya because why will you see them and you can't vote? You're not voting for them. Now let's switch to the last voter who is from Nairobi. You see the people they are seeing. If you go back here, then we connect again. Check their status. You're coming from Nairobi. Again, we load the candidates. Yeah, you see, we had really president is global. Anyone is there, everyone is going to see president. And then senator. We get two senator. We never register all positions. Again, if you see their vote, they are not voting. So election is not starting. The button has not changed. There's one thing I want to demonstrate. Voting before election starts. The system restricts election. Now election has not started. If you try to vote, it's not going to allow you. So let's try to demonstrate that. So first of all, when you press, going to ask you, are you sure you're going to vote for this person? If you think it's a mistake, you cancel. If you're sure, you go on and vote. Voting is closed. Okay. It's main election. This is just it's supposed to say voting is not yet open. That is it. We cannot vote because the voting is not yet open. So yeah, we wait for it to be open. Okay. Yeah. So even voters, for example, if a voter has not registered before election starts, during election, the system will not allow them to register because voting is only allowed before election starts. So those restrictions there. But even after election is over, if they cannot register, this is because they will add to the number of voters and then they did not vote. So yeah, we're waiting for a few minutes for the election to start, and then we can actually demonstrate voting when it's ongoing. Yeah, yeah. We wait for voting to start. When voting starts, voting is also timed, okay? It has a time between when it's going to start. Okay, sorry, I just want to cancel this. So voting has started. Yeah, it's ongoing. As you can see, this battle, it's ongoing. So system now allows you to vote. So you're going to vote quickly because we have a few minutes. I want to vote everyone. So when I press here, I'm going to confirm I'm voting for these positions. Once again, I'm going to submit my vote. And then president is locked. You can't vote for again. You've already voted for presidents. You can't vote for another president. Again, yeah, we are going to demonstrate voting for the senator. Um, if you read this person receipt now, my votes, I mean, you view again, you see they have voted for president and governor. These are the positions were not there. Let me shift to the other second voter. Yes. If I go back here, I connect again. So this voter has a lot of positions. So it's I mean, yeah, okay, I need to load it there. But there are very many. Yeah, but we need to filter by position. Let me just filter president. So yeah. So there are very many. This person, this is the second voter. So just to show that you can vote for another person. This person is voting for a different president. So vote is submitted for a presidency. The second voter. We go now to governor for Mombasa. We're going to vote again randomly. Vote is submitted. We now vote for, I mean, we just have 1-1 for the other positions. So again, you're free to skip a position. We're going to skip MP. Maybe this person does not resonate with you, and we vote MCA just to show you can skip actually. Skip because we vote one position at a time. So that is it. Let me go to the last voter to demonstrate his voting. And this time probably we'll skip many positions, many. So here, I hope election is still on anyway, because it's still ongoing. Because if it's over, it's not going to allow me to vote. So now, let me vote again, because we need a winner. No, I hope this is the card. Okay, sorry, I'm supposed to go to the first one, not this part. This vote has already voted, enough. So that's why you're saying you already voted. It's not that it's not going to allow me to vote twice. So I voted for the president, for a governor. No, let's just get a winner. No, let's get a tie. Get a tie. So this person has voted. Yeah, let me vote for MP and skip the other positions. Anyway, voting is closed, as you can see. So if you can see, voting does not allow me to vote. I press here, where it's telling me voting closed. Anyway, the button has not changed, but it's going to change now. There's some little delay in the notification because of few seconds, is because of difference in blockchain time every time. So now I cannot vote once the election is over. So you can see these ones are not voted. If I view my votes, this second voters vote, you can see they only voted for 2 positions, and then the rest they are not voted because election stopped. Okay, election in the dark. That's what it means. When election stop now, we want to see winners. Okay, this is where you can view winner. This one is accessible to even to everyone. The first thing is selecting a position at president. President is global. You just press. Okay, election is still not over now because the button has not changed. So currently we restricted what do you call it? We restricted voting to only I mean you can only check results when election is over. So supposed to say that. So we wait for this function to end and then for us to check with that. Because at the moment it's not accepting.
Dear esteemed Kenyans, that's the technology. Sorry for the long explainer. It's not as hectic as you may see it. The reason why we have that is because we needed you to understand how it works. So we are trying to explain each and every step precisely. But basically, that user interface is just for the voting process. We have other processes, but due to want of time, we will not be able to display them, but we will be able to make them public in a while. We are looking to work with expert, we have a team of experts, UI, UX designer. As you know, as part of development, the most important part is to prove the concept. And majorly the concept is in the backend. We've been able to prove this patching. We've been able to prove this security. We have a team of security experts that have verified that what we are doing is indeed real. Truly, Kenya needs change. We are talking of an era whereby your election will be your voice. And so for the many politicians that would be aspiring, think of cutting that cost. For Iebc, think of it in this way. We are bringing a technology that will help you make history. Beyond that, think of, I don't know, what's the voter training budget. Think of people who are bringing to you AI technology to be able to even help you in the process of voter training. So we are presenting solutions to our nation because we are tired of the cost. We are tired of, crazy costs that really can't be explained in our day and time. And we are in to save these costs so that we can build a better future. I would want to stop at that so that I can bring my senior for the next discourse. Thank you so much.
Before Kibaki you go, and before I call the next presenter, we know that there is room, and in case you're watching, or rather you're following online or from across the divide, depending on the nation, you can clearly see that this is not a Kenyan thing. This system can be adopted in Nigeria, this system can be adopted in South Africa, the system can be adopted in Rwanda, Tanzania, Zaire, Cameroon, nations that are about to have, their political interfaces changing in terms of presidency and all protocols observed, like Uganda and Tanzania. I know that sometimes these particular things, they take time, and the point of view of either the constitution might not have adequate time for such nations. But looking at it from a point of Kenya, there is a lot for us. We have enough time for the members of parliament to adopt this reality. But before we even continue, I can already maybe anticipate some of the questions. One of the biggest questions referring to this thing is, I hope the people can hear me. One of the biggest questions concerning this reality would be, how simple can it be used? Because maybe you have seen it projected or presented in English, The question would be, how simple could it be for Mama Mboga, Shosho at home, and things like that? We have incorporated a lot of realities within this particular thing. We would have loved to, to present the whole skeleton as it was, or it may be, but unfortunately we might not be able. But we are looking forward to, actually one of the places we want to traverse, I was thinking about not long ago, is Bunge la Wananchi. We are going to come to Bunge la Wananchi if they allow us through the president of the Bunge la Wananchi. We would desire to come there, set up our screens. I think you see we have quite some cutting edge technology. Set up our screen at our own cost, then present these things on public ground for us to be able to see. As I've told you, the Iebc, we presented this particular thing the other day. They really desired to see them, or rather the fruits of it. So all stakeholders who are present on that particular day, looking at it even from as high as a constitutional point of view. And so because of that, we wanted to present something to show, that for you to see that we are really thinking in terms of even to simplify this thing to the core, to a point whereby an educated person can be able to use it, someone from abroad can be able to use it. From a touch of a button, those of you abroad, you no longer need to travel. From where you are, you can vote and you can make your vote count in Kenya. You can imagine having a polling station. America is almost the size of Africa, at least from what they have told us. It might be different. But you can imagine having a polling station in South Africa, and you stay in Kenya. What are the chances of you leaving Kenya to go to South Africa and vote? That's not possible. So you can imagine this particular thing will be able to even harness more votes from, far and abroad across the divide. So we wanted to show you part of the simplicity of this thing. And we have something that, the team through Kibaki had happened to have put together so that you can see how we are not young. Sometimes someone sees young people and they're like, they're just ambitious. Ambition that is driven towards a goal is the right ambition. We have a goal, we have a bullseye. That is what we are targeting. And let me tell you, as little as we look, we will bring Goliath down. 2027, there will be history. The side of history you're going to be on is up to you. I would like Kibaki to make a phone call, and I would like you to see part of the cutting-edge technologies that we have been able to imprint into this thing, for you to see how you don't always need to read, that you can literally interact with this particular system of voting, and you are with whichever language. It's still in process, developing stages, but we want to present to you an AI system that can be incorporated into this particular thing, that whichever language you're speaking, you don't need to even know how to read. You can speak to this voting system, and the voting system can be able to talk back to you. Let us present the second module of this electoral system so that you can be able to see. Kibaki, make a call.
Buggings, hujambo?
Sasa, uko poa? Nimefurahi kusikia sauti yako. Niambie, leo tutaongelea nini?
Switch to English. I'm speaking to very important people.
Got it. Switch to English. Let me do or talk about.
Today, I want us to talk about the Kenyan election. So I want you to just simplify for us what was the election process like in 2022 in Kenya.
All right. Let me break it down for you in a simple way. Sure, the 2022 Kenyan election process was quite detailed and carefully organized. It involved multiple key steps. First, voter registration happened across the country, making sure people were listed properly. Then there was a vibrant campaign period where candidates for the presidency, parliament, and county positions engaged with voters. On election day, people cast their votes using a mix of manual and electronic systems. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, Iebc, oversaw the entire process, including biometric voter identification to reduce fraud. After voting, results were transmitted electronically and verified at different levels before the official announcement. There was a lot of public scrutiny and even a Supreme Court petition to confirm the final outcome.
So Buggings, today we are trying to improve the electoral process using blockchain. What do you think about it?
That sounds fascinating. Using blockchain in the electoral process could bring a whole new level of transparency and security. Blockchain's immutability means that once votes are recorded, they can't be altered, reducing chances of tampering. It can also make vote counting faster and more verifiable by all stakeholders. Of course, implementing blockchain would need careful planning, ensuring digital access for all voters, maintaining privacy, and building trust in the technology. But if done right,
Buggings.
it could revolutionize.
Buggings,
Yes.
one of the challenges that we are having in Kenya is election malpractice. Do you think that blockchain technology can help us?
Absolutely. Blockchain technology has real potential to help reduce election malpractice. One of the biggest benefits is transparency. Every vote recorded on a blockchain can be immutable and verifiable by anyone.
Okay.
That means it's much harder to tamper with results.
Buggings, apart from that, tunataka kutumia, unaweza ongea kwa Kiswahili sasa, tunataka kutumia ili utusaidie kufanya kuelimisha voters.
Unaweza ukatusaidia sasa uongee Kiswahili, kuna wale ambao hawasikii Kiingereza. Buggings, what do you tunaweza kufanya vipi ili kuimarisha njia ya kupiga kura kwa msimu huu unakuja?
Sawa kabisa. Wacha tuende kwenye Kiswahili. Ili kuboresha njia ya kupiga kura kwa simu au kutumia teknolojia kama blockchain, tunaanza na kuelimisha wapiga kura. Unaweza tengeneza programu za simu za lugha ya Kiswahili zenye maelezo rahisi kuhusu mchakato mzima wa uchaguzi. Pia, unaweza kuweka vipindi vya redio na video za mitandaoni zilizoandaliwa kwa lugha ya mama ili kila mtu aelewe. Halafu, unaweza kuweka mifumo ya majaribio ambako wapiga kura wanaweza kujaribu kupiga kura kabla ya siku halisi.
Sasa
kwa njia hii,
nikuulize Buggings, unaona tukitumia blockchain inaweza kuwa njia mwafaka ya uchaguzi huu unakuja wa 27?
Kabisa. Kutumia blockchain inaweza kuwa njia mwafaka sana kwa uchaguzi wa 2027. Blockchain inaweza kuongeza uwazi kwa kuhakikisha kila kura inahesabiwa na haibadilishwi. Inapunguza nafasi ya udanganyifu kwa sababu rekodi zote zinakuwa kwenye mfumo wa kudumu na usio na upendeleo.
Sasa Buggings, nikuulize, Wakenya wanakusikiliza sasa, tuko live, wanakusikiliza. Ungetaka kuwaeleza nini kuhusu uchaguzi?
Sawa kabisa. Ningependa kuwaeleza Wakenya kwamba uchaguzi na wajibu wa kila raia. Ni muhimu kujisajili mapema, kuelewa sera za wagombea na kujitokeza kupiga kura kwa amani. Kila kura ina umuhimu na ni lazima tuwe macho dhidi ya vitendo vyovyote vya udanganyifu. Pia, tukitumia teknolojia kama blockchain, tunaweza kuongeza uwazi na uwajibikaji. Mwisho, ni muhimu kuzingatia amani na umoja kabla, wakati na baada ya uchaguzi.
Asante sana Buggings, wacha turudi. We'll switch to English. Buggings, thank you very much. Can you say bye to the people?
Of course. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Let's keep working together for a brighter future. Stay informed, stay engaged, and take care. Bye for now.
The system, that's an AI system that you've just heard. The main goal of this AI system is to do voter registration, voter registration awareness, to do voter training, and above all, to be able to scrutinize each and every process in the blockchain, in that this becomes like your eye, your verification eye into the entire system. The AI technology has that capacity and the technology is growing. This is not a chatbot. This is a verified and trained AI technology that has been encompassed into a voice. So just beyond ChatGPT, which is just textual. This is a vocal. So we've gone beyond that to be able to provide a platform that can have several use cases, and part of our motivation was this, but we will keep on discovering more use cases, especially to help in democratizing our processes and helping Kenya become a better place. So that's basically just part of our innovation and as our patriotic contribution to our nation. Thank you.
So as you have seen, we presented these two major platforms to the Iebc department, of course through the chair. Several major stakeholders were present on that day. Our team was present on that day, and as you can see, we are not just coming with talk, we are coming with work. If we embrace these new systems, we can be able to cut a lot of costings. By the way, there is something we forgot to tell them. Do you remember the part where it said it cost approximately 2,000 or probably 1,200 from our system? Can you tell them how much it would cost? Of course, things like gas fees. How much is costing a voter from 2,000 Kenya shillings, or rather 1,200? What would it be costing a voter from using our system?
By the use of our system, it will only cost a voter a total of 36 shillings that will serve as gas fees as you're patching your vote on the blockchain network. So that is basically the cost per voter nationally. So that's a drastic reduction from last times, which was 2,200 to 36 Kenyan shillings. Yeah.
I don't know if you heard it very well. I read it for you previously, 2,000 per voter, what it takes to have one individual vote. What is that in dollars? Can you let me know that in dollars? 2,000 Kenya shillings in dollars. Like, you need to understand what we are saying, my brothers and sisters. We have reduced through our system from 2,000 Kenya shillings to 36 Kenya shillings. Of course, specific people will not like that, because this is part of the ways people make money. How much is that in dollars? $15.5. That's 2,000. What is 36 shillings in dollars? So $15.5 is what it costed previously. Our platform, the cost to make one individual to vote from $15, what will it cost? It will cost us $0.28. I don't know if you're understanding. $0.28, which is 36 Kenya shillings. From 2,000 Kenya shillings, $15, to 0.68, 36 shillings. What reason do you have, apart from the Constitution, for you to say it cannot be done? If the members of parliament of this nation want it to be done, they can make it done. Stop saying, you always change the Constitution to fit you. If you want high paying, if you want to be paid more, you know what to do. If you want ABC to be protected, you know what to do. Now, there is an opportunity for Kenyan vote to be protected from 2,000 Kenya shillings to 36 Kenya shillings. Let me ask you, Member of Parliament, what would be your reason to say no to this kind of system? What specific reason would you give us? We have none. So we spoke this, we presented the same matter today. You needed to have seen how impressed these people were. We are not standing here to offer solution for Gen Z. We are not standing here to offer solution for old people. We are standing here to offer solution for all Kenyans, young or old, rich or poor. And if we go this direction, you can be sure that we are about to take Kenya to a different generation, or rather a different reality that can be able to be used to revolutionize the nation. Isn't this amazing or what? Kenyans, we will be creating a list of shame. Any opposition we will meet against this thing, underline the word, we do not We are not rejecting to be scrutinized. We are not rejecting for positive construction. We are not rejecting for any positive criticism. What we are saying is simple. Let it not be criticized based on who wants to make money in 2027, but let it be criticized on the grounds of it cannot work. Prove us wrong, but if not, we will prove you right. It's an opportunity for us to do the right thing. Members of Parliament, do the right thing. Leaders of this nation, do the right thing. You can imagine people always complaining, oh, my vote is stolen, oh, my vote is stolen. We have a system that can make sure that no vote is stolen. We have not even told you about the advantages. Even to you, the one that is vote, or rather the you that is vying for office, you can imagine what this would mean to you. You can imagine all the work to put people in polling stations. How much money do you need to run, to put agents in all those polling stations? Now we have an opportunity. It will simplify your work. It will reduce the amount of money you are using. Then when you get to office, you will not need to be corrupt. I told you what do you call him? If an MCA, member of county assembly, is looking for 30 million to get a nomination from a political party, what makes you think, how much is his salary for him to be able to think about 30 million? It doesn't even make sense. Let us make it cheap to become leaders. If we do that, Kenya will always get the right leaders. Young people, we can push this. We can do this. We can implement this. Remember, Article 1 of the Constitution states very clearly that all sovereign power belongs to the people. All sovereign power. Do not be divided on tribal grounds. Do not be divided on cultural grounds. Do not even be divided on religious grounds. We are at war with transparency. We are at war with trust. And I'm appealing again to the Iebc, led by the able chair. We will go back to what we were if we don't do something about it. We might go back to 2007 if we don't do something about it. The key is in your hands, Iebc. Do the right thing. It is possible to have a free, it is possible to have a fair election. It will be dependent on who are the people doing it. Now, on any question that would be anyone who desire to ask, feel free to write it there and on our social media platforms, those of you that follow us through John CW. But feel free. Remember, constructive thinking. By the way, if you are in the IT department, you build systems, you can be part of us. This thing is not for individuals. This thing is for all Kenyans. We are pushing to make sure that we have the right things on ground so that we can be able to say that truly our vote counted. Something else I forgot. When you use this system to vote, all Kenyans everywhere can be able to see that you have voted. Not necessarily you as an individual, but it will show that in this particular place, this number of votes have come and they have been verified. But you on your side privately, you can be able to see your vote counted. You can literally get on board with any smartphone possible and see that your vote has counted. We have enough time to train the people. We have enough time to change the nation. We have enough time to reshape the future. This is the time. The question I want to ask you, will you embrace this time? What do you have to tell them, Kibaki, before you go?
What I have to say is that change is inevitable. We are a team of people that have been in this space. I want to recall the remarks of one of the greatest, one of the richest man on the planet, that is Elon Musk. And in one of his posts, he said that blockchain and artificial intelligence, this is the technology of the future. We cannot run away. We might try to run away now, but we cannot run away from the reality. Blockchain is here with us. I've seen banks reject blockchain. I've seen, parliamentarians debate, on the issue of tokenization. As we proceed, we shall see that actually part of the innovations that we are bringing on board is blockchain technology to be able even to revolutionize, the way our approach to debt, our approach to real estate, our approach to ownership of property. It's happening in the United States. It's happening in other nations. Kenya has the baton to pioneer these in Africa. We have what it takes. We have the knowledge that it takes. We have all that is needed. We are actually not begging for resources, no. We are actually saying that why don't you make it easy for technology to thrive in Kenya? Why don't we have the opportunity to restore the glory of our nation through technology? We believe that this is possible through blockchain, through artificial intelligence. We are revolutionizing other payment sectors in the field of payments with the leadership of our able leader, Teacher John C.W. We are revolutionizing the payment industry. He has actually, brought to us more experience and more partners from people who will be able to advise us, especially on matters real estate tokenization. We will be looking at matters debt, revolution, how the new way that Kenya can, we can be able to tokenize our debt and even have Kenyan participate in lending to our nation, to build our own country as ourselves and not relying on foreign debt. We have a paralleled, hub of solutions that we are bringing to the government of Kenya. So it's time that we embrace change. It's time that we embrace new minds. It's time that all youths everywhere stand up for us to make a new and a better Kenya. We believe that God has given us bright minds. The Bible says that the mind of the just is blessed. And if indeed we are the just people, we should demonstrate the blessedness of our minds. Thank you so much. Kenya, we are watching. We are watching whether we will embrace change. If you will not embrace change, change will actually change you. So that's my final remarks. Thank you so much. Thank you.
There is history to be made. Will you make it? There is history to be made. Will you make it? We have so much we need to present to you. By the way, we even have a system, a medical system that probably one day we'll present it to you that is able to tell, I think, moments before a person dies. It's able to identify where is the failure. Brothers and sisters, this is something else. Still through blockchain. If you've gone to, or rather you've seen movies on the ICU, you notice that there is that meter that goes up and down to show that there is life. And then once a person dies, it creates a straight line. We have systems that are able to detect which parts of the body are about to fail and give the doctors a better fighting power. We have these systems. I would love to, I feel like, I don't know, but, Jesse is here. I don't know whether it's wisdom, but I feel like we need to answer specific questions here, so let's not be in a hurry. The question here is, what about people that do not have smartphones? How do we address that? Of course, we'll be looking at these things from that point of view. Jesse, do you have an answer to that? Or you'd prefer, okay. What about people that don't have an iPhone? Okay, right, so let's look at this from this point of view. What about people that don't have an iPhone? Not an iPhone. Sorry, not an iPhone, a smartphone. iPhone.
Okay, thank you for that question. We are not truly dismantling the polling stations. what we are saying is that we are reducing the number of polling stations. For extreme cases, we will have strategic devices, and I think I explained in my presentation, that are stationed on the polling station, whereby a member or a person that doesn't have a smartphone can be able to get to the polling station and get assisted. Whatever we are trying to reduce is actually the congestion and the line that happens on the polling station. We have long queues. People come early in the morning, as early as 3, and end up leaving way later at 3 p.m., all just waiting to vote. So we are trying to reduce those queues. Imagine the number of people that have smartphones on that line. So all those people will be reduced and they'll be able to vote back home. But the few that will not be having smartphones, they'll be able to get there and they'll be able to get assisted. We will have devices, of course, by the help of Iebc. We will have devices in the similitudes of the KM's kit, but not exactly like them, which have accessories to verification. Like if you look at a sample device like this is just a normal, detachable computer, has access to verification cameras, has access to fingerprints, has access to thumbprints, whereby you can be able to place your thumb to be able to verify. And so those devices will be strategically placed in the polling station for verification and for voting processes. Yeah, thank you.
All right, we will be, putting all this information on our. Someone is saying unseen praise, sir. Do we have, sir? I do have a question. Since in the system can take more than 2 voters, how can the system be able to detect a specific voter from the other? Would you want to answer that? Okay, so let me bring in Jesse to give that answer. Since the system can take more than 2 voters, how can the system be able to detect a specific voter from the other? Welcome, Jesse.
Thank you. So the system your identity is basically connected to a unique hash. A hash is a unique key that separates you from every other person. It is unique to you, and it is going to be synchronized to your biometrics. So if it is your thumbprints, your iris, basically your biometrics. So there is no way the system can mistake one voter for another, because it is automatically detecting you based on the specific private keys that identify you. So that is not really a possibility with this system. Thank you.
All right, let's see whether we have another question. It says, give us, Joy Kwamboka is saying, will the system handle multiple voters at the same time? How have you configured the system not to crash when multiple people access it? That's, okay.
So, the system will be able to handle all that load. We've done quite of stress testing to the system. That's the back-end bit of it. And think of it this way. Let me just ask you a rhetorical question that probably will answer you better. Have you heard of how many transactions? I want you to take if you're near to a browser, just Google Tron scan. Just do a Tron scan. Just write Tron scan and then hit enter. Once you hit Tron scan, enter, take the first link of Tron scan. Tron scan. Tron scan. Tron scan.
Okay, so I just Google Tron scan.
Yeah, Tron scan. Just Google Tron scan.
Yep, Tron scan is right here.
Yeah. Hit the first link of Tron scan.
I don't know if the media department can do it online, so that people can see, if you can, media. Tron scan. Is this what you mean?
Yes. So if you've been able to look at Transcan, we can actually see the number of, transaction blocks, you can see tokens, account, contracts, transactions, block. That's how you will actually be able to verify your vote through your public key. So once you vote, you will actually be able to verify your vote. So imagine how many transactions, like you can see, it's live. How many transactions are happening on this block? Actually, we have 300 million and 37 million, 648,000 accounts that are actually running on the blockchain network. So basically, it answers your question. There is no amount of load that you can be able to, even if we have 30 million of people voting at the same time, 30 million compared to 337 million, and the blockchain system has not crashed. So that's the same backbone. You'll actually be able to verify your vote just as you verify a simple transaction on Transcan. For those that have been able to use the cryptocurrencies before, is as simple as that.
I think the media department, are you hearing me? Can you put that Transcan here, if possible? Google it, because I'm seeing the figures are, or let me do something that is not very professional. Can I come where your camera is? And then you try to, so that, all right, so let me do something. Yeah, there it goes. Now that's Transcan, right? So what Kibaki is saying, I think you can see the figures are moving. Is it on our platform? I would like it to be on our platform. Let's see the Transcan. So the ones that are asking about the system probably crashing because of what? So Kibaki has well put it that those are the total accounts running on blockchain, right? And you can see the figures is 337 million, 648, 645. You can't even say 6 because the figures keep on changing by the second. So you can look at all those things that are happening. So let's assume Kenya is doing 30 million transactions, looking at it from that point of view. I mean, if you put 30 million, you have not even gotten to the 37 million there. On that side, it's already 337 million. So clearly, that question has been answered. Quite a nice question. Sir, can two people use one smartphone? This is an important question. Can two people use one smartphone to vote, or it needs two different SIM cards?
Okay, so actually one of the perks or advantages of this system is the ability of people to, if you have one smart device in your house, it is capable, as long as you see, the same way you can't operate another person's Facebook account, it means you will have to log into your own Facebook account to view and to interact with social media. With this system, you have, again, a unique identifier. So every time, and notice, once a person has voted, the system locks them out so that it is impossible for somebody to vote twice. So if there are different voters in the same location with a common device, you will all be able to log into the system. It identifies you, and after you voted, you cannot do it again. So it is always eligible for the next person to be able to put in their credentials and vote. So yes, it is possible for people to do voting on the same device, multiple people, and it is not dependent on the SIM card in that phone because this system is online. It is not connected to your SIM card in any way. You just need an internet connection to be able to do voting through this system.
I think, Jesse, before you go very far, there is an issue of data protection, okay? So John Kuyo is saying, teacher, we have experienced situations where personal data information have leaked from Iebc database, or sorry, has leaked from Iebc database. I think that's what he meant. How safe is our data with blockchain system?
So our system, there are two mechanisms that are at play. There is data that is on-chain, meaning it is running on the blockchain network. We also have data that is off-chain. Off-chain, we are going to implement a very robust security or data storage system called the IPFS protocol. The IPFS protocol is, or rather, the Interplanetary File Sharing Protocol. That means data is disintegrated into different fractions and stored and distributed to different computers. So it is impossible for any one person, again, it is a decentralized method of data storage. So it means your data that we have on this system cannot be centrally located. So yes, a person may have access to maybe one server, but it has fragments of data. Maybe even your image, no central access point has all the information. It is like blockchain, but it is for data storage. It was, maybe if you can, for your own research, you can look at the technology behind the BitTorrent. It is a streaming platform that was basically designed that if you're to share files, maybe the way we do it with Facebook, whereby if I'm sending a photo, I can send a whole photo from my phone to the next phone, because the application I'm using is able to request that file from the server, the centralized server. But with IPFS, it means when I'm sending information, it is requesting it from the nearest device that has that file. And that file is not complete. It is dependent on another file to be able to draw it all to make one complete file. So you see, again, that's such a robust security measurement. So it means it's not going to be possible for your data to be leaked on these grounds. Again, you're the only person who knows your private key, all right? It is unique to you. It's like having an M-Pesa PIN. I'm trying to simplify these things so that I can reduce the complexity of the matter. So it is the same way you have your M-Pesa PIN, and unless you give that PIN to somebody else, they can access your M-Pesa account. So you yourself, you are your own security based on your unique identifiers and biometrics. So that is it.
All right. So let's not be in a hurry to do the other part. Let's first deal with this and answer these very critical questions. So a question is, if I create more than one account to log in, how can you handle such cases? All right.
It's actually logically impossible for you to be able to do that, because I think my friend Jesse has iterated and said that actually your private key is your biometrics. So we have a copy of your biometrics. You can't be two people. You can't have double biometrics. It's actually biologically.
They are not all in the IT. Be nice.
It's actually biologically impossible for us to have.
So you mean like it's as unique as your fingerprints?
Yes.
Okay.
And we will have a copy of all your possible biometrics. So that you yourself is actually even more safer than an M-Pesa, because you see M-Pesa, we are using an external PIN. In this case, you yourself, you are the key to open your voting session, and after you are done voting, you are automatically locked out. So you can't come back and vote again. So it's actually literally impossible for you to have two accounts. You cannot be able to create. We are not using passwords. So we are not using username and passwords. We are not using that as a mode of authentication. We are actually using your biometrics as your mode of authentications. And your biometric, as he explained, is hashed, always producing a similar hash. So if we use your face, producing same similar hash. If you use your fingers, producing same similar hash. And that is the hash that is used to patch your vote into the blockchain system, and you'll be able to vote for that for the candidate that also has been put also on chain. So the voting process is happening on chain. The key is to protect your vote and to protect your data. So that's majorly the key. Thank you.
Jesse, if Nancy Wanjiri is asking, I have a question, sir. In case of a node failure or hack attempt, how will continually and integrate of the election be maintained in case of a node failure or hack attempt? How hackable are we?
All right, so one of the basic concepts in blockchain technology is that every blockchain network has its very specific consensus mechanism. So a consensus mechanism is the mechanism by which the system is creating the next block in the chain of blocks. So for instance, Bitcoin uses proof of work. It means you have to prove computing power to be able to verify information or a transaction across all nodes in the blockchain, in the Bitcoin network, for instance. So for you to hack a blockchain network, you need what is called a 51% you need to have 51% of the total network power for you to hack a blockchain network.
Just one node, actually.
Just one node. It means if I have voted on this and my vote or my transaction is visible, if you look at TronScan, for instance, those are what is happening currently on the Tron blockchain, okay? So it means for you to change even one transaction, you need to convince 51% of the nodes, which is impossible because they're in millions. You don't have time to hack all those one by one. It will take you maybe, Jesus will have come back by the time you're done if it's possible. So it is impossible to hack. And in case of a node failure, blockchain is not dependent on one node. If one node fails, the system is able to continue without it. All right? So I think that I've answered that question. It is difficult for that to happen. It is a rare case in this technology.
How will voters be brought into our system? Because the question is, the government has our biometrics. For example, our ID have our biometrics. Can previous biometrics be used? How are people going to be registered into the system?
So that's why we are appealing to the Iebc. So we'll conduct actually a whole, if this system was to be adopted, we'll have to conduct a new voter registration exercise. And once we conduct it, we'll be able to write a smart contract to outdo any other, you just write a smart contract on the chain, on-chain, to be able to reject any other data that has been, previously, taken. So every data that is collected, when you collect any single data, there is something that it comes with. It's stamped. Part of what happens on that stamping of that data, so that it can be patched, it can be cryptographed and then patched on-chain. What is patched even on-chain is the time stamp. So the timestamp is there. So it means that if you bring any other data that was probably generated out of anywhere, any other time, probably, it will be rejected automatically. So we'll only be able to use the data that has been recorded within the open slot of registration. So that is basically what we've implemented.
All right. Mary Coy is asking Jesse if a person is voting using their phone and the device goes off during the process, Will they be able to resume and complete the voting once the phone is turned back on? What procedure would apply?
Okay, from a very basic point of view, it is good to be prepared to vote, so first charge your phone. Make sure your phone is charged on that day. But in case it goes off, if you are currently on YouTube and your phone goes off, you'll still come back and start again. So on our platform, your session will just be discontinued. So it means you will have to start again, because the thing that locks you out of the system is the confirmation that you have actually voted. So if your session you had not voted, you will have to restart again once you have another device that is now charged. But please, on election day, make sure your devices are well charged. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's how you know you're talking to tech folks. Wanatukata. Yeah, I say, folks, just charge your phone. Peter Ndungu giving a piece of advice. He says, as a tech guy, thank you very much, Peter. We embrace your tech concepts. He says, I'm happy for this. Let's for once do an election with the largest turnout, 0% compromise and 100% tech. God, please see this through. I can volunteer to improve its UI. What's that? The user interface. Peter Ndungu, I hereby give you a job. We employ you, Peter Ndungu. Just like that, you are hired. He says, so please come and help us improve its UI. Demo must be on point. Now, there is something I want to speak about concerning, maybe we should or we shouldn't answer now, concerning internet. So, yeah, yeah, so what's up? Yeah, you get it? I think both of you should give us your perspectives. Okay, I don't know how you're going to answer, but just answer people.
On the question of internet, yeah, it's okay. On the question of internet, it's as simple as, let's say, for example, if Kenya goes out, do you still have, even if they cut power, do you still have access to the internet? So there are several, there are actually numerous, not only several, there are actually numerous ways to tackle the internet jargon. So one, I think, is you should first ask yourself, what is internet? So once you're able to digest what internet is, you'll actually see that internet is an infrastructure that can be accessed even privately. The simplest answer would be we would employ, we've seen our senior Elon Musk has been able to come up with the internet, the Starlink internet, that is not dependent on our Kenyan government to operate. So basically that's one option. If Starlink is banned in Kenya, banned in Kenya, we believe that for such an exercise as important as elections, we have so many other bodies that come on board, and we have private telecommunication channels that the Internet Corporation has actually issued that different private corporations can be able to tap into. Ask yourself, where does Safaricom get its internet? Okay, from Liquid Telecom, probably. Where does Liquid Telecom get its internet? So it means we can still be able to tap into those channels, and those channels are there, and they were actually placed there by the Internet Corporation for such occurrences, whereby a government like Russia might probably close out all, the internet channels. We can still access the infrastructure even privately. So it's a matter of putting the right resources there, and of course, deploying the mean that is next available. Thank you.
All right, there you go, folks. Bonita Media, it says, how is the blockchain reliable, bearing in mind that the IBC already has our information? I think you already answered that in view of the fact that we will, if the IBC adopts this perspective, we will need to do an overhaul voter registration again so that we can phase out any old, information or data that might not be applicable here. And I think it's Bonita Media. Bonita, thank you very much. My team normally tells me about your great work, and I see the great work that you do and offering us an opportunity on your platform through your following. Thank you very much, Bonita Media. God really bless you. So we have all those questions. I think some of these questions are repetitive, but for the purposes of those that just came now, what about our old parents? How will they be going to vote? Yeah. You are not here. Can you wake up for 1 minute? Wake up, our brother. This is, so you are, either you are not attentive, let me find the name. Isaac Lomalia. Either you are not attentive or maybe you are not present at the time you are doing. So let me give you a quick fix on how our parents will be looking at it from that point of view, okay? So let's assume this is a 89-year-old parent that only knows Swahili or other languages. We will only demonstrate two for purposes of time. So for you to see how ready we are. Hello.
Sasa hivi niko hewani. Naweza kusikia sauti yako vizuri. Hebu niambie.
Let's speak in English. How are you? What's his name?
I'm doing great. Thanks.
All right, Baggins. How is your evening, Baggins? Have you eaten?
My evening's going great. Thank you for asking. And yep, I've virtually had my meal of data for the day. What about you? Have you had something to eat?
Yeah, Baggins, I've done some chapos, man. So you eat data. Me, I eat chapo, you eat data. What do you have to say about that, Baggins?
That sounds like a perfect deal. You get those delicious chapos, and I'll keep crunching on my data. We're both fueled up in our own ways, right? Maybe one day I'll learn to make virtual...
Yeah, and maybe one day me too, I'll need to learn how to eat data. So Baggins, our sisters and brothers are wondering, can the old people use you during elections? Can you be of help during elections to the old people?
Absolutely. I can be a big help to older folks during elections. I can explain voting procedures, share information about candidates, or even help them find their polling station. And I'm super patient, so no matter the pace, I'll be right there to guide them through it.
All right, now let's switch to Swahili because someone has asked a question. What about our parents? Baggins, unaweza ukasaidia ukatuongelesha kwa Swahili. Unaendeleaje, Baggins?
Niko poa kabisa. Naona tumehamia kwenye Kiswahili sasa. Kuhusu wazazi na watu wazima, naweza sana kuwasaidia. Naweza kuwaelekeza jinsi ya kutumia teknolojia, kuwaonyesha hatua kwa hatua, na kuhakikisha wanaelewa kila kitu. Hata kama ni kuwasaidia kupiga kura, kutuma ujumbe, au kupata taarifa muhimu. Niko hapa. Kweli, hakuna mtu mzee sana wa kutumia huduma yangu.
Asante sana, Baggins. Sasa mimi nataka kwenda kulala. Wewe unalalanga, Baggins, by the way? Nisijai kuuliza. Wewe ulala?
Swali zuri sana. Mimi sipigi mbiu ya mgambo wala kulala kama binadamu. Niko macho muda wote, tayari kusaidia, mchana na usiku. Kwa hiyo, ukishamaliza kupumzika, unitafute tu. Nitakuwa hapa tayari kwa mazungumzo mapya.
All right, Baggins, thank you very much. And by the way, Baggins, what do you think about 2027 elections? Should we, tell the young people to register, because most of them are just talking and they're not even registering. Can you advise them concerning 2027 and registering themselves?
Kabisa, ni jambo la muhimu sana. Vijana wote naombeni kuamka. Mjitokeze mujiandikishe mapema kwa ajili ya uchaguzi wa 2027. Maneno pekee hayatoshi. Kura yenu ndio sauti yenu. Kuhakikisha mmejiandikisha ni hatua ya kwanza ya kuleta mabadiliko mnayotaka. Hivyo, msilale, jitokezeni, mjiandikishe na muwe tayari kwa uchaguzi wa 2027.
Okay, Baggins, thank you very much. Switch to English. Thank you very much, Baggins. God bless you.
You're most welcome. Thank you too, and take care. If you ever need anything, I'm right here. Good night, and all the best.
Machapo, 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 Baggins, machapo.
Haha, chapos for the win. Enjoy those chapos and have a fantastic night ahead.
Machapo. So you can clearly see your mom, your dad doesn't even need to know how to read. She can literally just talk to the system, and the system can say, this is how to go about it. So I think above all that, we have tried the best we could to answer all these questions. We had something we wanted to share with you. So I don't know if Jesse, I don't know how we go about it, because I felt like the time has gone much. There's something very important we wanted to share with you on a different technology system, whereby I think we can look at it from next Thursday, if I'm not wrong. It's very important that you know this, because Jesse here and the team. So this is how it happens. Within the team, people come up with different ideas. So different ideas and whatever. So this particular idea, Jesse brought it up. We had a look at it, and we are giving our own perspective and building around it. Let me give you a little summary. It is basically in view of tokenizing national debt. We are going to show you how not to borrow to sustain Kenya, how we can tokenize using our blockchain systems and all those kind of technologies, how we can tokenize debts, and for you to be able to see how easy it is for us to raise our own money using these particular systems. I'm going to appeal to you. We rarely do this I don't do this as a program like every Thursday or what. I only do it when necessary. But this coming Thursday, stay tuned, because we'll be looking at this particular summary point of view, how to pay the debt of Kenya using technology, cutting-edge technology, looking at it from a blockchain perspective and things like that. So Jesse will be taking us through that. Jesse, do you have something you'd like to tell us to prepare for that, for this coming Thursday, so that we can have a better perspective? I'm sure you'll be able to say it better than me. So welcome, Jesse, as he prepares you for what he's going to be sharing this coming Thursday.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Well, I believe every dysfunction in every system exists there by design. So if a system is, for instance, corrupt, as it is so rampant everywhere in Africa, it is because the systems that are already there are built to harbor and to nurture corruption. Therefore, we believe, it is our core belief in this team, that the best response we can offer is a systemic response. So, to the question of national debt, we believe that we have an answer to this. And this is through the tokenization and the fractionalization of treasury bills and bonds and other instruments that governments issue in order to raise money for it to run its operations, basically. So with this system, let me give you a perspective. For instance, Africa has a total debt, the African debt, all of it combined, is 1.8 trillion US dollars. Just putting that into perspective. Every debt of every nation is basically broken down into two parts. One, 50% external debt, meaning it is debt that is sourced from external sources like the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and 50% is local or domestic debt. That means it's the debt that the government will basically raise through commercial banks when it issues the treasury bills and bonds. So meaning when people buy those things, they're able to buy them at a discount. Possibly, you see, for instance, the lowest entry level of a treasury bond currently is 100,000, for instance. So you buy it at 90,000, and then once the government pays you back, it pays you the full 100,000, and you're able to make 10,000 from that transaction. So Africa in itself has 1.8 trillion US dollars can we have a conversion of that into shillings? Let's do a conversion of that into shillings. 1.8 trillion to Kenya shillings, if you find it. 1.8 trillion. 234 trillion Kenya shillings. That's a big number. Even Elon Musk is not worth that much. So imagine the reason many African nations are unable to sustain themselves, it is because whatever money we raise, a large part of it goes to financing these debts. And the cost of servicing a debt is also high because you're paying back the principal plus interest. So money that would have gone into developing the nation goes outside to sustain debt. With our innovation and our technology still on a blockchain, running on the blockchain rails, we have what will be a system that is able to tokenize debt and make it more available to a broader base of people. And when we put into perspective, this system will be able to generate revenue to the tune of 16 trillion US dollars. So if we can do the calculation for that, meaning Africa can be able to pay off its debt, that's the 1.8 trillion, and be able to have a balance of 15 trillion to run its own affairs. This means building factories, this means schools, this means roads, this means employment locally. In short, people will no longer have to fly out to greener pastures. We make the greener pastures here at home. So basically, we are building systems that are for Africans by Africans. It is about time we build solutions that respond to our own unique problems. This is not Silicon Valley, this is Africa. And we are our own unique people with our own unique problems, and we have our own unique solutions that are impactful and can impact lives intergenerationally. So we will be able to take a deeper dive and zoom in on this system next week by God's grace. Thank you so much.
Yep, so you heard it. Next week on Thursday, we will be looking at debt repayment systems. I mean, systems that can make it very easy for the government to be able to reconfigure its debt. I know that there are many debts that have been taken abroad that cannot even be accounted for. This is why we are pushing for good governance, and part of the way to do this is to make sure that such realities find themselves on the daylight. Now, I know, and I'm repeating it again, I know. It might sound very easy, what we are trying to achieve. It is not easy. We are aware we are going against the tide. But I would like to end with this particular saying. There were 4 lepers at one point in the Bible, and they wanted actually to move forward. Ahead of them was a whole military camp. They are already aware of where they are, but they are not aware of where they are going. So they settled and said, if we stay, we die. If we go, we die. Which going do you think makes sense? Is it stay and leave Kenya to die? Or attempt and see Kenya coming out of debt? They thought that in their movement that they will actually die. They didn't realize that sometimes you rescue people by going forward. So just go forward. Kenya, go forward. All those of you that would desire to be part of this big team, there is no Masai, there is no Kipsigis, there is no Luya, Luo, there is no Kikuyu, Kisii, Kamba. There is only Kenyans for Kenya. We'll be releasing on our social media platforms how to be part of this particular team. If you're in the IT department, if you feel you can offer any lawyers, law department, those of you that can be able to, channel this through all those avenues. We are not at any one point trying to lock this to ourselves. Remember, no one person owns it. Everything that we are building here is purely owned by the people of Kenya. We are willing to change this nation. 2027, there will be history. The question is, will you follow history? Will you make history? Or will you wish that there would be history? As for this team right here, we are making history. We don't care what has been. We care what will be. We are willing to push through the walls. And believe me, all Jericho walls will fall. Any opposition against progress, it will be very difficult for you, especially where we are going. We believe in change. Fighting change is like fighting a current that has already decided to move on a specific direction. We are not ignorant. We are willing to work to see that God is glorified above all things, that Jesus Christ is Lord, and that the will of God happens, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth, even as it is in heaven. How can I thank all of you for being part of this live broadcast? But just to let you know that we are truly grateful and we bless the Lord. We hope that this information is really informative, able to change families, homes, states, and bring us out of the dark era, dark political era. I believe that we're going to do a great job. So thank you very much. I would have loved to take time. Abraham Kipyegon, what is the basic minimum requirement for the device? I mean, as long as it's a smartphone, you can be able to use it. We're going to probably take all these particular questions. Any questions or any one of you that would have felt we did not necessarily respond to your questions, please bear with us. We are trying to teach, at the same time educate, at the same time listen to your opinions. But we'll be doing this. If you think that it's necessary for us to be doing this every Thursday from now until all these things are adopted, please let us know. Follow all social media platforms for you to be able to see that which you are doing. And above all, pray for us. It's not an easy job. Pray for us. Iebc, we appeal to you once again. Thank you for embracing change yesterday. And we appeal again. Embrace change today. Embrace change tomorrow. The change you want to see is us who have it. Don't be afraid, brothers and sisters. Soon, the Egyptians you see today, you see them no more. Till next Thursday, my name is C.W. John. Looking forward to embracing you again next week. Malombo, every blessing. Thank you.